Hey guys, good to see you again. Not really. I can't see you because I'm on a computer. But thinking about you guys, I actually miss seeing you guys every day. Hopefully you are finding some good out of staying at home. Hopefully you're getting outside and getting a little bit of fresh air too. I just wanted to leave a few thoughts with you about some of the things that you're going to be reading this week. And just wanted to give you a couple extra minutes just to think about them and get a few points too by commenting below or just adding anything that you want. You can do that at the end of the video. So this week you're going to be reading Matthew 20. And in that, Jesus tells this story of the laborers of the vineyard. And some of them, they work really hard. They work all day, and they get paid a fair wage. And then others only work for an hour or two, but they get paid as if they worked the whole day. So those who work the whole day, they're complaining. They're whining. They're saying it's not fair that we get paid the same as them. And it started making me think about just this whole week and all the unknown. How long are we going to stay at home? Are we going to come back to school? Is this going to change how our society works? We don't know. And it's really, really easy to start complaining if things aren't going our way. It's really easy to say, this isn't fair. Why does everything have to shut down? And while those things might be true, I think Jesus is calling us to think a little more deeply and to stop and pause and to look for the good and appreciate what we have. So instead of looking at the shortcomings that we have or the less time that we have, we don't get to hang out with friends maybe as much, do the things that we want to do, instead of looking at the negative, I want us to look at the positive that can come out of this. For example, in my family, it's really hard. We're homeschooling 4 kids. My wife still has to go to work at the hospital. I still have to, grade papers and things like that. It's tough. I can complain about it. But I can also look at the positive. For instance, just spending a whole lot more time with my family has helped us quite a bit. Just get to know each other more. To watch movies together. Yes, we're doing a lot of homework and things like that, but we're getting to play a lot more together as a family than we have in a really long time, and that's been a huge blessing. So I thank God for that. Some of you might have parents that have been really affected badly because of this. There might be some jobs lost or income is lowering. Others, you might be able to see how your parents have to work more. It's just different for every person. I'd come across a phrase that goes something like this. It says, "What benefits the eye is also a blessing to the toe." So some of us might feel like we're the toe right now of the foot, and this just stinks. But if we look for the blessings that somebody else might be having, they're the eye. It will and can benefit us as well. Just like the laborers in the vineyard, those who only worked an hour were like the eye, and those who worked the whole day were like the toe, thinking this stinks. But instead, if they had a different perspective and they said, hey, wow, that's really awesome that you got paid way more than you needed to. What a huge blessing. I'm so happy for you. And I got what I deserved, and so I'm grateful for that. That can change a lot of things. So for us, maybe we can see those around us who might be doing, this might actually be making their lives a little bit better. It might be a blessing to them. And I'm not talking just about jobs and things like that, but like with my family, this is a blessing because we're growing together as a family. So I'd like for you to think, okay, how might someone else be blessed through this? What's the benefits, and to thank God for those blessings, and also to look at yourself and look for the good in a difficult time, perhaps. And a big part of that story in Matthew chapter 20 is this idea of grace. And and the owner of the vineyard decided to show grace. And some received more grace than the others. And that's okay, because it's the owner of the vineyard who decides what to do. And so some of us, we're receiving more grace in this circumstance than others. But we're all getting something better than we deserve still. And when we walk in that grace and we think about that grace, it changes how we see things. Without grace, we compare. We look at the other people and think, that's not fair. Or they've got it better than me. But with grace, we appreciate the things that we do have. Hey, class is over. I sneaked into the school. So the other thing that you're going to be looking at are different characteristics of God. You'll be watching a couple of videos and how those can be reflected in our own lives as well. You'll look at compassion. You'll look at like grace and chesed, love, things like that. And so I guess I just wanted us to stop and think about grace for a little bit. And in that, when we have the perspective of grace, we can also show compassion a lot more than maybe we normally would. That Greek word behind compassion, it's a fun word to say. It's splanknon, and it just means your guts, like that churning of the guts. When you really, really feel and empathize with somebody, it's not just that you like look at them and feel bad for them, but it moves you to do something. So I'm challenged to look around me, which would be my wife and my kids, and feel compassion for them. Try to understand where they're coming from, what's going on in their minds, the struggles that they're having while being sequestered, having to do homeschool when they'd rather be outside playing, or my wife who has to go to work at the hospital, and the craziness that's going on there, and then coming home also and working with the kids and doing all the home things. I want to have more compassion on them as God has compassion on us. I want to have chesed, that lovingly faithfulness, where I'm committed no matter what, through thick or through thin, through isolation or being surrounded by friends. So as you're reading through those things, as you're watching those videos, I encourage you guys to just apply it to here and now. It's difficult. For some of us, it's a little bit more difficult than others, but it's a challenge. And God wants us not just to survive, or we all talk about having to survive this coronavirus or whatever, but let's think about living instead of just surviving. And to truly live is to be full of grace and to be full of mercy and compassion, and to be lovingly faithful to those around us. So I hope you guys are doing really well, honestly. Feel free to send me any emails if you have questions about things. Below this video, if you comment, I'll give you some points. So you'll see that up on the gradebook here pretty soon. But just wanted you guys to be encouraged. And this isn't how things are going to be forever. It will not always be this way. But despite all of the obstructions that might be in your way, like God is there. He hasn't changed. His people have gone through far worse than being sequestered to their homes. And he is committed to us, and he loves you guys. And I do too. All right, have a great day.